What's going on, party people? Captain Zeus here, and I'm back with another TV show review for you guys, and this one's going to be over Peacemaker Season 2. Now, the finale did just happen pretty recently, so spoiler warning up ahead for those that have not been able to catch the show yet. And if you like these reviews, please like, subscribe to show some support, and let us know in the comments below your thoughts and theories for Peacemaker Season 2 and the future of the DC Universe. At least this first chapter of it. Let's get into it. I'm going to say that this season was pretty good. Honestly, right out the gate, it definitely set the tone. It felt, in my opinion, a little bit slower paced than the first season, which isn't a bad thing. I do enjoy some slower paced shows or movies as long as the story fits it and is good. The pacing definitely kicks up as the show progresses, which is, again, still pretty good. It's not a bad thing. This definitely had to do a lot with the multiverse, and I think the way that they introduced the multiverse in this show was way better than how the MCU handled it, because they didn't handle it well at all. The multiverse saga, it's been nothing but just a freaking mess. It's nothing but a mess. And this one, they dealt with it in a kind of tamed way when they introduced all the different realities through the doors that Peacemaker has, which then introduces that to Argus and the rest of the government, and they start to explore these different realities. I mean, that's at the end, but nevertheless, these realities get explored. I think that's kind of the big theme for this chapter of the DC Universe is consequences of going to different dimensions, possibly. I don't know. This definitely had a lot more to do with the human side of Peacemaker and crew, which is something James Gunn said before the show came out. Like, this is definitely that kind of a story, and I think they did it very well. It very much grounded Peacemaker as well as Harcourt. Like, from the first season of Peacemaker, it definitely was, it was pretty chaotic. It was freaking hilarious though. There was a lot of cool things about it, but this one we had so much more character development and so much more growth with these characters, as well as getting to know them more to understand why they are what they are. Also, Cameos is just freaking hilarious, even when he's trying not to be, or he is trying to be and it isn't. It's funny. I think in a general sense, for someone that likes the DC Universe, this is definitely a must watch, especially because it has a lot to do with the aftermath of Superman. That movie definitely affected this very much. I mean, we had Lex Luthor pop up. We had basically his entire crew from Superman was there helping Rick Flag. And speaking of Rick Flag, we had a lot more character development and depth with his character in the show until the last episode. That's where the curveball comes in. With Rick Flag, we definitely see, hey, that he is not 100% in the vengeance path. He was heartbroken, of course, that Rick died, but it's not like he became the head of Argus to figure out who killed his son. A lot of people think that, and they're dumb, but that's not all what happened. He got promoted because Waller was fired. I think she's arrested now because of what happened in Peacemaker Season 1, and so he's now the head of Argus, and he's like, you know what, the first thing I'm gonna do, because I couldn't have access before, is figure out who killed my son. And that's kind of like how his vendetta began. But it definitely seemed like at first Rick was, yes, trying to get revenge on Peacemaker, but also trying to stop any of these multi-dimensional rifts to happen, because as he said multiple times, we don't want what happened in Metropolis to happen here. Now, where a lot of people kind of, for some reason, I don't know why people's brains work this way, but instead of paying attention to the entire season, they just paid attention to the last episode or two. And in the last episode, we saw Rick basically dick riding Lex Luthor in group and going full vengeance mode, not with any other good alternatives in mind. Even when they got Peacemaker arrested, instead of figuring out a way to shut all this stuff down, they decided to go and explore the different dimensions. And something a lot of people did point out is the fact that Rick was acting very unusual in that episode. And I agree, he was a lot more aggressive. He did seem a bit off than how he was in this entirety of the season, even in Creature Commandos, which is DCU Canon, so if you want to watch that, you definitely should. But a theory that's been floating around, and I can see why this theory is floating around, is that he is actually Clayface, at least in that last episode. I think Rick Flag is Clayface in that last episode. From the last episode, we can tell that this season takes place a month after Superman. I think Rick Flag was on board all the way up into that last episode where they got access to the portal, and that's when Clayface comes in working for Lex Luthor. For what purpose? I don't know. I mean, it seemed to be, hey, let's have this plan, this whole different dimension dimension where we're throwing our prisoners like it's freaking Marvel Civil War over here. But I think there's a different method, or there's a different motive for that purpose. What that is, I don't know. But we are getting a Clayface movie next year, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we'll find out more. Who knows? I think it's an origin story, but still, who knows? Also, when they went to Dimension X for the majority of this, I was like so cool with how things were going. I was like, man, this show is, man, look at this perfect universe, this perfect dimension. We get to see the dream that Peacemaker's always wanted till episode 6. When episode 6 hit, oh my gosh, I felt so dumb, because I was like, what do you mean this is Earth X? What do you mean this is a world taken over by Nazis? And then Hardcore's like, you ever notice that like there's not a single person of color here? And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, holy crap, I haven't seen any person of color in the background at all. Like it just clicked, and I was like, there's no way this is really that. Like maybe it's just a little ploy or like a little joke or something, until there's the Nazi American flag and then the whole Hitler memorial. I was like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. But that was such a crazy reveal. Some people will claim that they saw it coming from the get-go. They're a liar. They are a straight liar. Like, this story was so good, I wasn't really paying attention to the background characters as much. But again, they're background characters. On the flip side though, that just shows that if you pay attention enough, it's not going to be as much of a surprise. So for those that do pay attention, you're awesome. Good on you. And then John Cena giving his biggest performance ever. Probably, what was it, episode 7? Oh my gosh, dude. When he bust down in tears and told everyone to stop when they were essentially shanking his brother, I felt that, dude. I was like, dude, that is pure raw emotion right there. There's a lot of people saying, oh, this makes him the best wrestler turned actor. And I could see the argument. I'm still giving it to Dave Bautista. That dude has a lot more range and depth with a lot of the characters that he's done. John Cena's easily number 2. The Rock is probably like number 7 or something. But yeah, John Cena making it a real tough contender for number 1 there, but he's sitting number 2 for me. I mean, all in all though, I really did enjoy this show. I think it definitely adjusts the canon in a smooth manner. In reality, it's just a different dimension, or a different version of the Snyderverse, or at least the timeline of the Suicide Squad movies where Rick Flag was in, and Peacemaker season 1. It's just a different universe. And then speaking of Peacemaker season 1, at the end of Peacemaker season 1, where we saw the Justice League, instead we see the Justice Gang in Peacemaker season 2 in that flashback. So I thought that was interesting. Supergirl was there, so it shows that she is definitely established in the DCU. I'm really interested as to when and how they create the official Justice League like team. Like it's gotta be funny, because Justice Gang is not working. All in all though, I really did enjoy this. I will say if I had to rate this season, I would probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. I felt like there was moments of lull, which doesn't make it bad per se, but I felt like there was more that could have came from the show. Perhaps they're being a little bit tame, or constant adjustments with the lore of canon. I'm not too sure, but I did enjoy it. It wasn't bad. I think it's a good watch for sure. Definitely not for kids. I mean, if you didn't get that with the orgy scene in the first episode, for a second I was like, is this The Boys? Did I accidentally turn on The Boys? Like, what is this? No, but it definitely set the precedent. This is not a kid show. I would watch it again, honestly. I think binge watching it would give you a better experience than just watching it episodically, like week by week, just because the cliffhangers, except for episodes 6 and 7, weren't that crazy. But that's just me. What did you guys think though? Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Peacemaker season 2. I'm Captain Zeus, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.